Hello and welcome to the Fostering Success Michigan webinar series. Thank you so much for joining us for the Getting to Know the Higher Education Consortium series. My name is Maddie Day and I am the Director of Outreach and Training with the Center for Fostering Success at Western Michigan University. And in my role, I oversee the Fostering Success Michigan statewide initiative. I'd like to say a very special thank you to our funders, the Kresge Foundation, the Havermill Foundation, and Western Michigan University for their continued support of the Fostering Success Michigan statewide initiative. This webinar series is focused on the FSM Higher Education Consortium. This is a group of 17 campus-based support programs across the state of Michigan serving students with experience in foster care. All programs include a designated campus coach providing 24/7 life skills coaching, mentorship opportunities, peer community building opportunities, connection to campus champions. These folks are key staff in identified campus departments such as financial aid and advising, advocacy for students on campus and in the community, pre-college outreach and recruitment, and financial resources. And you'll see that there's an asterisk by financial resources because we encourage everybody to be sure to look at each individual program to better understand what those financial resources are. Each program has some element of financial resources available for the students that participate in their program. However, these vary widely program to program. Today, we are talking with the Start to Finish program at Lake Michigan College. Welcome, Charmaine and Brandon. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Glad to be here.
Awesome. Well, we're super looking forward to hearing about the Start to Finish program at Lake Michigan College. So let's jump in and first start talking about eligibility requirements. So as our listeners will see here on the screen, we do have some of the kind of more generic eligibility requirements. So I'd love to hear from you, Charmaine and Brandon, a little bit more about what students are eligible and if there are specific ways that students can communicate to you or others on campus if they think that they're eligible and would like to inquire more about the program.
Yes, well, first, Lake Michigan College is a community college, so we have open enrollment. So any student who applies here is eligible to come to school here. To be a part of the Start to Finish program, you have to be a student at LMC. And the Start to Finish program actually serves a few different populations. We have students who have been in foster care or are currently still in foster care. We also serve a local promise zone and students who test into our college STEP program, which are students that test low in reading. So we serve all of those different populations, and foster care is something that we just started serving about a year and a half ago because we saw the need that some of our foster care students needed life coaches and people who were going to help them be successful in college. We serve any age of students. There's no limit for age eligibility. Most of our students in the program are 26 and under, but we are happy to serve students who are over the age of 26 as well. And we do ask that the students meet with their life coaches regularly. And I always tell my students, you know, you can meet with me as much as you feel you need to. I have students who come to me every day, and then I have students who come once every other week or once every third week.
Great.
Also, I just want to add that students can find out if they're eligible when they go to our front desk, our one-stop area, and make an original appointment for advising. There's already information based on the application that they're eligible for the program, and someone from that front desk will actually walk you back to our office and introduce you.
That's
and
fantastic.
so you can meet us in person. Yeah, it's wonderful. You know, and it's not mandatory, so you know you can be as involved as you like. We often find that students that choose to be more involved usually fare better, but you know it's something that's optional.
Awesome. And it's just, I think, really great for students to know that, you know, they can just go to the one stop and that then, you know, they'll be able to meet with you and really have that warm handoff. So it's not kind of like being sent to, you know, a building, you know, maybe half a mile away and just given a name, that it really is kind of connecting you guys to the students in real time. So that's awesome. And I would imagine for any of the supportive adults and professionals that are listening, knowing that, you know, if they have prospective students, they can reach out to you with that student, is probably a huge benefit to kind of helping that student, you know, really stay on track and move toward their goals of attending LMC. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have these lovely pictures here, and it looks like you guys have a lot of fun with the Start to Finish program. I was like, oh, I want to know what's going on with all of this. It looks like a great variety of activities. So why don't you share just some highlights about the Start to Finish program?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you look at the top, when you see the red cups in the lecture hall there, that's actually one of our student lunch cohort meetings. We try to do it once a month, and we do it a couple different days a week, so students with different schedules, like a Monday, Wednesday classes or Tuesday, Thursday classes can meet. And we pick different topics that we think students need to hear about. We talk about burnout. We talk about you know, problems with advising. We talk about stuff on the calendar, but we order pizza. We bring pop, and there's usually, like, afterwards just a time of just kind of like hanging out. Sometimes we'll play games with gift cards as a reward for the game, and so, you know, it lends itself to some picture moments, as you can see. And then also below, this was one of our bowling outings. We tend to do this once, twice a year at the end of a semester. Just as a show of appreciation, or just to recognize the things that our students accomplish, and you know, and that's a lot of fun. Our coaches and myself, you know, we love to challenge the students. We usually win as well, but you know, that's
Nice.
That's yeah. You want to tell them about that?
Yep, and in the left-hand corner there, you'll see two of our queens. In Southwest Michigan, every community has a pageant, and people become the queen of that town for that year, leading up to our Blossom Time pageant and Blossom Time parade. And two of the people involved in our program were queens. We have Miss
awesome.
Benton Harbor and Miss Stevensville. And one day they both decided that they wanted to show off their crowns and their sashes and their T-shirts from when they were involved in the Miss Blossom Time parade. So they came in and we did a little photo shoot with our queens.
That's so fun. I love
my
that.
picture.
Awesome. It looks like you guys have just a great amount of fun, and I really love hearing that, you know, you're giving students kind of a wide array of opportunities to get involved at, you know, different comfort levels, you know, maybe just casually or, you know, more intentionally to come and join and hear about resources and really engage in the learning process and kind of gaining some of those life skills. So I think that's wonderful, and I don't know, it looks like it would be a lot of fun to be in this program.
Yeah, we definitely try to have a lot of fun with our students. We want them to know that, you know, college is work and you're going to work hard, but you're also going to have a lot of fun by being involved with us. And one of the things that we do is try to reward the students, like Mr. Flowers over here said. We'll give them gift cards. For one of the bowling outings, it was for our students who did really, really well in class.
Oh,
and
cool.
we just want them to know that we are behind them, cheering them along.
Yeah, that support means a ton to students.
Yeah, we definitely want to focus on recognition because, you know, there are choices, small choices made every day that lead up to big things. And no one's there to make a big celebration out of a small right choice that may have been very difficult. But we try as much as possible to give recognition to students that are doing well. We keep a PowerPoint with names of perfect attendance or like honor roll, that sort of thing. But we keep it scrolling on the screen. So, if you stand there long enough, you'll probably see your name somewhere. And if not on the screen, our coaches always do a great job of recognizing their students for their accomplishments.
That's fantastic. And, I think the other piece that really communicates is, college can feel overwhelming at times. It can feel like you're just one face in the crowd. But all of those efforts that you guys are doing to really nurture your students and call out their success in a variety of different ways, bring them together, that helps to make the campus feel like a true community and a community that supports them, and one where, they really find benefit for being engaged. So thank you so much for sharing. I think that that probably leads in a little bit to just the general culture of Lake Michigan College. And so I'm interested to hear a little bit from you guys about, what is special about Lake Michigan College?
Well, one thing about Lake Michigan College is, like you just said, the word community, and that's how we like to think of Lake Michigan College. We are a small school, so we know each other. We are very friendly. Our students feel very welcome. Our start-to-finish students are a community within this community at LMC. Our professors, our staff, everybody is here to help students be successful. Our school is very much plugged into our program. Our professors are willing to work closely with our students. They send us progress reports. They keep us updated on things because they really want to work to help our students be successful as well. Just one little thing that popped in my head just right now, we had one of our math professors who volunteered his time every Friday to come and just tutor our students in the start-to-finish program, because that's how much LMC is dedicated to student success.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, what the instructors are willing to do for students here is definitely a big thing that stands out. Multiple times this has happened, but probably the greatest example I had, that was a student that was having trouble with some science classes, and actually the director of our natural sciences department, who was also an instructor, left her office to come down here and work with a student. And that's something that it just blew me away, because you're talking about someone who is high up in the department offices that, is willing to come down 2 floors to work with, to work with a student in one of the support programs. There are quite a few of our student services in either admissions or advising or financial aid. I know that have made special connections with various students within and outside of our program, that they feel comfortable coming in, sitting down in their offices and just talking about how school is going, or just how different things are going in their lives. So community, it's not just a part of our name, it is who we are, and it is in a big way. The staff very much cares about student success.
That's fantastic, and I think showing the commitment from upper administration, from faculty and staff, from just a wide array of disciplines, really speaks to the level of support, but also how embedded the Start to Finish program really is in the culture of the Lake Michigan College campus. I'm wondering if you could tell me a little bit about kind of some of the majors or some of the key programs or popular programs that students come to pursue at Lake Michigan College.
Yes, definitely. We have over 80 programs available for students to study here at LMC. Probably our most popular program is our nursing program. Every year we have 88 students in the nursing program, and 100% of our students pass their boards every year to go on to nursing careers. We also have programs like the culinary management program, which you can see up top on the left on the pictures. Our culinary management program works very closely with our hospitality management program and our wine and viticulture program. Our wine and viticulture program is a new program. It's only been at LMC for 2 years now, but we've actually opened up a tasting room in Baroda, which is a town about 15 minutes away, that is completely stocked with student-made wine.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yep, and so the 3 programs, the culinary, hospitality, and wine and viticulture programs, are about to have their own building here at LMC. They've started working on the construction, and so hopefully by the start of the school year 2018 or halfway through, we'll have a building that houses those programs that will also have a tasting room right here on campus.
Well, it sounds like we're going to have to come and visit you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I can say that we were at the grand opening of the tasting room, and our students make very delicious wine.
Oh, that is fantastic. I love hearing all of that. So my next question for you is really about kind of the tuition fees and cost of attendance at LMC. And of course, we know often this varies on, program to program, and every year, tuition may vary. But could you tell us a little bit about the cost of attendance, so expenses that students can anticipate, and then if there are any specific financial resources that students should know about that might be available to students with experience from foster care at LMC?
Yes, well, one thing that is really good for our students that qualify for a Pell Grant, typically a Pell Grant covers the full cost of tuition for students who are full-time at 12 credits per semester. For our in-district students, your tuition is going to be a little bit lower than our out-of-district students. If students, however, live on campus, you automatically qualify for in-district tuition. So that's a really good bonus. And for foster care students in general, or in particular, we have students that qualify for TIP and also for the Educational Training Voucher, or ETV. And many of our foster care students, between the cost of, between the Pell Grant, the ETV, and the TIP, their cost of classes and housing is totally taken care of here with some extra money to spare.
Wow, that's impressive. And I would imagine that you guys work very closely with your Office of Financial Aid to ensure that students have the right packaging and are able to kind of have some support in navigating the financial aid process.
Oh, yes, definitely. And I actually work in our admissions office as well as the Start to Finish program.
Okay.
So I typically will help the students with their whole admissions process and getting them involved with somebody from our financial aid office. We have one financial aid person who is specific to the Start to Finish program for our foster care students. But all of the people in our financial aid department are well versed in the financial aid issues that come along with the foster care students. But mostly our students are going to see one specific person.
I think that's so great and such a excellent sort of resourcing from LMC, understanding that, students often name financial resources and financial support as the #1 barrier to starting and continuing in post-secondary education. And so knowing that there's going to be somebody that they will be able to see consistently, see over time, also knowing that you can connect with them from the very beginning, from the application stage, and introduce that financial aid person to them early on, it probably makes a huge difference in students' just comfort level when they enter in, and probably their success rate continuing on. So that's excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yes, and I actually get an email whenever somebody checks that they had been in foster care or are currently in foster care on their application. I receive an email and I contact that person and talk to them right from the very start so that they are aware of the Start to Finish program and what we have to offer, and I offer them my assistance in getting them through the entire admissions process.
That's fantastic. So you do have a question on your application about foster care status?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. And I think something that, for folks to be sure that if they're working with a student that they check that box so that they can access that increased support. So that's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. So our last question for you are, what are 3 things that we should know about LMC in the Start to Finish program?
Yeah, we broke it down to 3 C's for easy memory. We've community, coaching, and course support. That's kind of the 3 themes of what we do here. And of course, we've already mentioned community, but Start to Finish is it's a linking operation as well. So when you get to know one of our staff, we also will send you out to meet instructors that we know or that we work with. If you're unsure about who to see with a certain issue, we already know who they are. We walk students to those offices. If tutoring is a need outside of what we already provide, we walk students to the tutoring center and make sure that they, that they have as you mentioned before, the warm handoff. Mm-hmm. Also, through the activities that we do, students get a much better chance of learning, or not learning, but meeting each other, making friends. Community colleges sometimes suffer from what they call the PCP syndrome, which is the parking lot to campus, back to the parking lot as soon as your class is over, mm-hmm. and home. But with the Start to Finish program, when you show up for study table, when you show up for meetings, you're often going to see people that you see in class, and that can lead to conversation. There's hangout spaces, places for lunch. We turn on movies back here. There's just a lot of ways that you can run into people, the ways that you can meet fellow students. We also link students to internships. We have an Earn and Learn internship at Lake Michigan College that we kind of link students to. It's based on what the student's major is, but it's over the summer, and they work with a business, making some money and then learning about their area of study, like in the real world. We also bring professionals from the community in for some like community professional connection events. So we've had people from Whirlpool, people from Lakeland, medical, from all sorts of places.
Cook Nuclear Plant.
Yeah, Cook Nuclear.
Wow.
We also have lots of study resources. We have computers here. And then my job really is to be a study resource for students. I teach a study skills class that our mandatory advising students have to take. But while I'm in my office, my office is actually right in the middle of the study area. So any student that is studying and is stuck, they don't have to get up and go to a tutoring center. It's just in earshot, hey, Mr. Flowers, what do you think about this? And I can get them unstuck. I know a lot of the instructors, and I know their assignments. I've been here long enough so that if a student doesn't feel like they got the full explanation from an instructor, and they've gone through all the necessary channels, I can help get them unstuck with that as well.
We also have our own student life group right within our Start to Finish program, and we have developed our own Start to Finish club that includes a book club. So our students read books, and we have our little sit-down chats about books, and we have the students go out on different outings, and we've actually been trying to plan something big for this coming school year, hopefully something out of state somewhere. And we'd like to take the students and get them exposed to some culture and some, a nice sit-down restaurant, something like that, but expose our students to something that they've never been exposed to before.
That is just, I'm so impressed, and I feel like there's just, it's like a hidden gem, and you guys have so much to offer students. I'm very curious about the book club. I'm like, I want to join your book club. That sounds great. So I think I might have interrupted. What else should we know about LMC?
So the second piece coaching, and Charmaine is one of our coaches. They're really the foundation of the Start to Finish program. They're the person that you meet when you first start in one of our programs. They're your go-to person when you have a problem with financial aid, when there's an advising hurdle, or you just want to know where you are on your course to graduation. Or, I mean, it could be something completely unrelated to school. It could be an issue with a friend. You just need a sounding board. The coaches do all of that. They do a lot of the linking, you know, like the heart and soul. Students stick with us because they make a connection with one of our coaches, or all of the coaches, really.
And I like to make sure to tell students when I'm talking to them that your life coach is not like a caseworker. Your life coach is just going to be somebody who's your go-to support person on campus, and you can go to them about anything. Like Mr. Flowers just said, you can talk to them about issues with class, or you can talk to them about issues with life. Whatever you need to talk to your life coach about, that is what you can talk about. And also, one of the things that we like to tell our students is that having a life coach is not an obligation, it's an opportunity.
I like that. That's really great.
And then, you know, the last thing is course support. There are so many resources as far as tutoring at Lake Michigan College, or, you know, the sign-up sheet next to my desk, which is next to our study table area, plus the computers we have, the knowledge of how the instructors are running their classes, what they're looking for with assignments. You know, it's very hard if you're one of our students to dodge the support and you know, and find trouble. So you know, we do a lot. We've done reading interventions. We're going to be doing a math intervention because of some data that we've been looking at. You know, we work with instructors so that we can even go in, get a copy of their syllabus, get a copy of the work that students are working on, and then we can create extra study sessions and try to hold students accountable there, and make sure that they're hitting all the benchmarks on the way, so that they're not having to retake a math class, a reading class, or an English class on their way to 100 level coursework.
You know, I think that that's again, such a important resource, but also one that really speaks to some of those very early on stumbling blocks that we see with our students, where, you know, they sort of get tripped up in earlier classes, and that not only does that affect their GPA, of course, and it may affect their finances in just what they're eligible for, but it also affects their self-esteem, you know, and their the way that they see themselves as a student, and how that kind of translates into what they think they may be capable of long term. And so knowing that you guys really put an emphasis on the support of those courses, I think that that really kind of speaks to some of those needs that we see really directly with students with experience in foster care, in ensuring that they're not just on the path, but they're supported to be successful.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, I just have to say I'm so impressed with everything that you guys have shared today, and I have to imagine that students, supportive adults, professionals who are listening to this will be equally impressed and will be very curious, not just for the wine tasting, but for all of the support that you all offer, to really check out what's going on at LMC and get to know the Start to Finish program. And I just want to say, Charmaine and Brandon, you know, I can hear just in the way that you guys speak about your program that you have a very deep love for the students that you serve and this work, and that really comes through. And, you know, I just want to say thank you so much for all of the things that you guys are doing. I encourage anybody who has questions about the program, about LMC, to reach out to Charmaine, to reach out to Brandon. It sounds like, you know, even if you're kind of early on in considering LMC as an option for you, that this is a great place to start, and reaching out to Charmaine would be a great first step. And then, you know, if you have students or are a student already on campus and looking for a way to get plugged into the community there, it sounds like there are folks ready and welcoming. So thank you guys so much for sharing today. It's been wonderful to have you join us.
Thank you so much, Maddie, for having us.
Yeah, it's been wonderful.
Thank you. And so, as always, we just like to close with a reminder that FSM has a variety of resources regarding higher education resources for students with experience in foster care. Chiefly among those are our Getting to Know Higher Education Resources for Students from Foster Care Guide. You can find that on our fosteringsuccessmichigan.com website. You can also learn more about the Higher Education Consortium on our website, fosteringsuccessmichigan.com, or follow them on Facebook. And you can learn more about all the wonderful things that Lake Michigan College has to offer on their website. Thank you so much for Lake Michigan College for joining us today, and thank you to everyone who's listening. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.